thoughts, opinions, and general overall shades thrown on High at 9 News are those of the individual speakers and not those of High at 9 News, its audience, or its advertisers. The statements made do not constitute medical, legal, or financial advice, and for advice tailored to your specific situation, please consult with a licensed professional. Welcome to the High at 9 News Hour, where you will hear from cannabis industry experts and professionals from around the country talk about important topics while shining light on global issues and discussing cannabis as it relates to politics, regulation and reform, data and technology, science, research and medicine, family and parenting, art, celebrities and entertainment, fitness, sports, mental health and wellness, and plant-based medicines and entheogenics. Together, we are building a stronger community, fighting the stigma and creating change. With your host, Jason Beck, joined by special industry expert correspondents from around the country, and daily antics brought to you by Cannabis. Coming to you live every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific time and high noon on the East Coast. And thank you all for getting high at 9 with us. Yeah. Good morning, everybody. That's right. It is Tuesday, November 25th. And today is, oh, you're going to love this, Todd. Today is National Play with Dad Day.
Nice.
Yes. Shout out to all the dads out there.
What up, Dad?
Yes. Yes.
So does that mean you can only play with your kids, or you can play with other people's kids too?
You know, I don't think it's mutually exclusive. Let me just say that.
Okay.
Yeah. But good question, Todd. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
What about grandkids?
Grandkids, they're kids. They're all kids. They're all kids, Todd. They're all kids. Like they're all. Right. You're in essence. That's when you are a granddad. So you know what I mean.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
All dads can be grand.
Yes.
Dads.
You know.
What you do there?
I see. Trust me. I'm all about that life there.
Fellow bald friend finally.
Look at this, Michael Minardi. Michael, do you know how great today is? It's National Play with Dad Day.
Aw, I wish my son would still do with that.
Yeah.
Right.
15 going on 16. Not much wants to do with me.
You know.
Oh, they come around in their late 20s.
That's what I keep on telling him.
Yeah, they'll come around. They'll come around. Don't beat yourself up about it, Michael.
Oh, no worries. Yeah. You let me go to his play last week, so that was awesome.
Nice. That was very kind of him. It was very generous.
You made sure not to embarrass him, though, right?
Yes. I had strict rules of engagement.
You know what's funny is I used to tell my mom that before she would drop me off at school. I'd be like, all right, Mom, don't do anything dumb. I don't need you embarrassing me in front of all my friends.
It was the worst thing my kids could say to me.
Yeah. I used to tell her that all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was my mom's mission pretty much. She was always kind of the loud one that made sure everyone knew she was there.
Oh, that's great. That's funny. That's classic. And it's also National Parfait Day today, you guys. You know?
I don't even know what a parfait is.
You know what a parfait is? It's like a little bit of yogurt with a little bit of nuts, with a little bit of sliced fruit.
Got it.
You know?
Yeah, don't eat a lot of parfaits.
Parfait.
I gotta say, we make a yogurt and fruit freeze-dried product, and it is so good. Great little healthy snack.
So that would be a frozen parfait.
Back in my day.
Oh, there's Liz.
In my day, a parfait used to be an ice cream.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What year did they change that?
That I couldn't tell you.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know why my camera's not on. Oh, let's try this.
There we go. There she goes. There we go. It's coming in.
Let's get the pipe out of the way.
It's coming in. There we go, Liz. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Hi, all.
Yeah. It's also, you're going to love this. You're going to love this, Liz. Today, it's National Shopping Reminder Day.
Shopping Reminder Day.
Yeah, to remind yourself.
Reminder to go shopping?
To remind yourself, Yeah, it's a
for it.
reminder to make sure that you go and get all of the food items that you're going to need for Thanksgiving. And I'm sure I'm actually just going to go to it. Hold on a second. I'm just going to pull this up just because it's too good.
When you buy groceries, you know that new word, groceries? It's kind of an old-fashioned word,
yes.
but yeah, it's groceries. Guy invented that word.
Is that an old-fashioned word?
Shopping Reminder Day kicks off an unofficial countdown of sorts. Whether you are finishing up or just getting started, holiday shopping is a task that either stresses people or excites them. For those who look forward to the holiday shopping, the idea of finding the perfect gift for someone they love tickles them with energy. However, others like the thrill of the hunt for deals. Still, others just love the energy of giving during the holidays. On the flip side, those who dread holiday shopping dread the crowds and traffic and budget constraints, and commercialism drives them indoors. But somewhere there must be a balance for us all. We select the gifts with meaning and fulfill the expectations while keeping those who need the most in mind during this holiday season. If you have a holiday shopping to complete, this is the day to remind yourself that there are only so many days left. There are 30 days until Christmas, 31 days until Kwanzaa, and 15 days until the start of Hanukkah. And 2 days until Thanksgiving.
And the Black Friday deal started last week.
Yeah! yes.
I can't do any of that. Like,
No.
I don't even start Christmas shopping until December 15th because I want to enjoy it. And if I start now, I'm going to be so sick of it by the time Christmas comes. I'll just want it over.
Well, I would think you just, you don't have enough stash spots in your house to hide the gifts for that long of a period of time.
Well, yeah.
Okay,
I think we could go there.
Yeah. And today is also National Blasé Day today, you guys.
Blasé?
Yeah, Blasé Day is observed annually on November 25th. And we aren't certain if we should feel excited about it or if we should feel blasé about Blasé Day.
I'm pretty blasé about it.
Yeah, this unique observance gives us permission to be blasé towards just about anything. Interesting choice today, you guys.
I didn't know we needed permission.
Apparently you do. Apparently
it's a day just we have to be blasé all day today. Oh, Jason, what's next?
It's like, one more day until Wednesday,
Right.
and Thursday, holiday. Who the hell wants to be working this week? I think all of that think fits into today.
I think you're right about that. Yeah, Mike, I'm with you on that. And thank you all for joining us and getting high at 9 with us. It's also high noon on the East Coast. And please remember to like, share, and subscribe to us on all social media platforms. You can look up above and down below to see exactly where we live on the internet. And we are live every Monday through Friday on YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, X, Instagram, Facebook, Kick, as well as on our very own website at www.high9news.com. So welcome to everyone joining us from any one of those platforms. And oh man, we got some legal battles already, Michael, because a court of claims is going to hear the challenge to Michigan's impending 24% tax on marijuana. That's right. A Michigan Court of Claims judge in Detroit will hear arguments on Tuesday whether a controversial new tax on marijuana was adopted in violation of the state constitution. The 24% wholesale tax on cannabis was the linchpin of a budget deal that was adopted last month by the legislature and signed by the governor, Gretchen Whitmer. The adult use marijuana industry sued because a voter-approved ballot initiative already imposed a retail tax on cannabis. And in a quote, "This was an unconstitutional move. End of sentence. Full stop," said Rose Tantapal, spokesperson for the Michigan Cannabis Industry Association. She said the legislature could not add a new wholesale marijuana tax on top of the existing tax on retail cannabis sales without supermajority votes. When the legislature passed this law imposing a 24% wholesale tax on cannabis, it did so in violation of provisions in the state's constitution, she told Michigan Public Radio. Lawmakers used a Trojan horse to process during chaotic middle-of-the-night actions to ram this legislation through. The cannabis industry lawsuit says the initiative is supposed to help develop a legal adult-use marijuana industry, while the new wholesale tax will force cannabis retailers to shutter. Margins for cannabis businesses are already very thin, and there's no room to absorb a 24% tax, she said. Many cannabis businesses have already said they will go out of business if this 24% tax goes into effect. And a state budget office spokesperson said it would not comment on pending litigation, and the state has argued in its written briefs that the wholesale tax is written into a new and different law, and its purpose is to generate $420 million for roads and not to regulate marijuana. The case will likely turn on a technicality, said Senior Research Associate Robert Schneider with the Nonpartisan Citizens Research Council of Michigan. In a quote, he says, "It's in a different statute," he said. "It's charged on the wholesale price, not the retail price, so it's different. And that court will need to decide if it is different enough. It is a distinct tax in a sufficient way that isn't just sort of a workaround to the constitutional requirement." But both parties have asked for an immediate ruling in their favor, and the tax is set to take effect on January 1st. So the Court of Claims Judge Seema Patel is expected to rule quickly to fast-track the case through the appeals process up to the Michigan Supreme Court if it comes to that. The cannabis industry has also asked for the tax to be put on pause while the case moves through the legal system. Well. Michigan, this 24% excise tax, they're trying to fight it. Ultimately, will they be successful? No one knows, but we may find out tomorrow as to what this judge says, but we will keep you posted here on High at 9 News, and I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about this.
Stupid. 24%.
Crazy, right?
Wholesale weed, it's crazy.
No, it's 24%, just 24% on top of what they're already taxing, Todd.
Yeah.
No, it's just crazy. I
And
don't even know where they
Off
come
the
up
backs.
with this.
Well, so they're trying
what
to.
do they need this
They're trying to fill
24% for?
Well, they're trying to fill a $2 billion infrastructure bill to repair their roads and highways in Michigan. Okay, and so they said, hey, let's ping the cannabis industry for $420 million of that. And I'm just wondering what made them think to come up with that number of $420 million.
Thought they were all clever and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so funny when they use that 420 for so many things.
Mm-hmm.
It has no meaning, right? No meaning at all.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous that they're just trying to, put all of these issues on the backs of cannabis consumers. It's absolutely ridiculous.
It is. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Why don't they touch alcohol? That's where the problems are.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they have
alcohol taxes are pennies on the glass, right? And weed at 24% plus.
Yeah, you know what they should do? You're right, Todd. Maybe they should increase their CRV value, their CRV tax. That would probably generate them a lot more money, because that would hit every single beverage.
Gasoline, because it's there to.
No, we don't need any gas taxes, Todd. Easy there with all that rhetoric right there. Yeah. We don't need any more gas taxes on energy.
How about some?
I'm just saying, if it's to fix the roads, then there should be a tire tax.
It almost seems like discrimination, because that's who they're taxing, the cannabis.
Well, they're taxing other people because we're not providing the $2 billion. There is other groups that are being taxed in this, so
yeah, but to that percentage.
Yeah, there's other groups that are getting taxed more than that. They're just
what's going to happen is the black market is going to thrive because people just can't afford, the current taxes plus 20% plus. Well,
not to mention, especially with the story that we covered yesterday, Michael, with the fact that that Ohio is going to prosecute people for smoking out of state weed, their residents.
Yeah.
So now all the Ohioans are going to be traveling to Michigan to buy their weed now all of a sudden. So now there's going to be an even bigger drop in their tax revenue. Even though we know that's all total BS, but just saying.
How does someone know if it's Michigan weed or Ohio weed?
Because it has a state seal on the package, Todd.
Well, I know, but can't we empty it into a different package?
I mean, yeah, you could, but that's still, that's still an open container.
Yes.
I know you're familiar with those. Being in Vegas and all,
Seen an open container before.
Yep. Oh, man. Michigan. Well, we're going to keep this train rolling. We're going to roll. Oh, go ahead, please, Michael.
No, I was just going to say these tax issues on cannabis just continues to go from state to state. It seems like everyone is using it to come up with a different idea or a better idea, when all they have to do is really look to their drug policies and start slashing drug policies and policing drugging, going after these offenses, and they'd save the money overnight easily.
But there'd be so many less headlines that we don't cover on High at 9 News that wouldn't be on the internet, though, true. Michael, if they did that.
No, hopefully it would be more good headlines, like when Colorado started and it was like, oh, they put X billion dollars into their schools and they're building these schools, and maybe to be like, look, the cannabis dollars went into all the money we saved from law enforcement went into stopping violent crime and fixing our roads. And
well, that's why they're trying to do with this 24% tax. They're trying to put $420 million into the road, so then that way all the traffickers have a way to traffic their weed around.
Yeah,
without hitting a speed bump.
Yeah,
or a bottle.
Waste of money.
Yeah. I guess
cannabis is probably, in the drug war, is probably the biggest fundamental waste of money that our society has ever seen.
They should call this the no stone unturned tax, Michael. That would make more sense for this. But yeah, on that, we're going to roll into our next commercial. First commercial. We're going to be right back. Yes, you guys.
I saw another one.
And we are back. Huh? And we are back. And I love Michigan. They call me White Gucci in the streets out there in Detroit. And so we're going to stay in Michigan for our second story, because there's a Michigan man who's accused of fraud for not paying $1 million in unlicensed marijuana sales, you guys. That's right. A 48-year-old Holland man has been charged in connection with an alleged scam involving a $95,000 Chevrolet Corvette and failure to pay more than $1 million in unlicensed marijuana sales, the Michigan Attorney General's office announced on Monday. Sean Michael Brown was arraigned on Friday in Hudsonville's 58th District Court on one count of false pretenses, $50,000 but less than $100,000, and a 15-year felony and 6-count of taxes failure to file false return, which are each 5-year felonies. Authorities accused Brown of defrauding a victim by selling him a 2021 Corvette for $95,000, then not providing a valid title to the vehicle, the Attorney General's office said in a press release. Well, when you sell them to a chop shop, you don't need that. You don't need that title. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, it also, in a quote, it says, it is also alleged that Brown never paid income or sales taxes from 2020 to 2022 on the vehicle sale proceeds, or on the more than $1.1 million that he earned from unlicensed marijuana sales, officials wrote. Brown did not have an attorney listed in online court records on Tuesday, and a profitable cause conference is scheduled for December 4th before the 58th District Court judge with Judith Mulder. A preliminary examination follows on December 18th. The case was referred to the Attorney General's office by the Ottawa County Sheriff's Department, who assisted with the investigation, along with the Michigan State Police Marijuana and Tobacco Investigation Section. In a quote, they say, sales tax revenue supports our schools, our roads, 420 million of it, and services our communities depend on, Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel said in a statement. I would like to thank the Ottawa County Sheriff's Department and the Michigan State Police for their diligent work in investigating this matter, and my office will continue to enforce Michigan's tax law and protect residents from fraud. Oh man, this guy's gonna get torched. He's gonna get the book thrown at him. You know, the government hates anybody more than they hate anybody, as they hate anyone that's cheating the government. And I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about this.
Well, I don't know. Your guy hasn't paid taxes in years.
He's paid taxes. He's paid taxes. I mean, you know, if Hillary Clinton wanted all those taxes paid, she should.
Right. According to Trump, it makes you smart if you don't pay taxes.
I agree with that.
This guy smart?
I agree. In all fairness, Todd, you know, Thomas Jefferson, he said it's every American's duty to pay as least tax as possible. I say it all the time. It's very true.
Just saying. So why is this guy in trouble?
He's paying for not paying any tax, not less tax.
Makes him smart though.
But Trump pays less tax, Todd. Less tax. He still pays taxes, just less tax.
Yeah, and honestly, you know, I guess we consider it like THCA, right? Mm-hmm. The IRS loopholes.
Yeah, for sure.
That aren't supposed to be there, are supposed to be there. Is there a difference between the two?
No.
When the plain language, you know, obviously excludes THCA, but now it's a loophole.
I just don't understand. You know, Michael, I don't understand how they were able to quantify to say that he did 1 million in illegal marijuana sales. How are they able to quantify that?
Yeah, how can you track that?
He has to have kept records.
His whole mistake was that title.
Yeah, they have to.
His mistake was.
No, I think he snitched on himself, Liz, is how they got these numbers, because otherwise they wouldn't be able to say such a thing.
Yeah, I'm sure he associated with some weight, and they just kind of retailed out the weight for what it. He
was probably working for your uncle, Todd, the king of pot.
My cousin.
Yeah, your cousin. Yeah.
There you go.
That's possible.
Go Bruce.
Yeah.
Go Bruce. Yeah, well, then we know it was hemp, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It was all hemp. It's all THCA at the end of the day. I'd totally argue that.
Yeah, it's all hemp. Yeah, that's what it is.
No, it's just an agricultural commodity, guys.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Hey, it's all a fucking plant, man.
That's right.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Mm-hmm. I mean, come on. How many things can you go out in your garden and eat and die from yourself, or mushrooms that grow up every time it rains, you eat and die? Yeah, we're so worried. Mm-hmm. And going back to the tax thing, I think they should turn around and have a sugar tax. You know, why don't we put on a tax that something actually harms people, is the largest driving cost of our healthcare system, kills the most people. Mm-hmm. I think that there should be a sugar tax implemented of 24%, and let's see how healthy America gets that quick.
All right,
I'm down with that. Michael. I would totally help and promote that and push for that. I would be down with that. A sugar and a carb and a carb tax. Sugar and a carb tax.
I'd pay the tax.
You'd pay the tax. See, Liz would pay the tax. See, you know what I'm saying? People would be happy to pay.
But yeah, sugar is addictive. It's definitely addictive.
Well, not to mention
worse than heroin.
Not to mention, Liz, it's the first drug that you introduce to your children.
Absolutely.
Just saying.
And apple juice really comes in the form of apple juice.
Parents are drug pushers, technically. All that sugar. Mm-hmm.
It's uneducated. They don't want people to be educated so that they can make smart decisions about their own health. They'd rather just spew a bunch of lies or cover it up with big money organizations doing these studies that show, oh yeah, sugar's not bad for you. Mm-hmm. Corn syrup's not bad for you. Mm-hmm. Triple modified glucose isn't bad for you, even though it's 3 times or 10 times the amount of sugar that we should have in our body a day.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally, diabetes is a sugar disease. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, right. We literally created diseases around selling a product. Now this product generates all this revenue for the healthcare industry, right? Mm-hmm. So how could they ever tax it? How could they ever do that, right? Yeah. It's like alcohol will never be banned again, right? Because of the ancillary businesses that are created around alcohol. Right? Mm-hmm. Not to mention the bars and the restaurants and all of that shit. But what about the straws and the napkins and the little tchotchkes and all the accessories.
That was
go
the
around
dumbest
drinking.
thing
Not to mention
ever.
the whole industry based on getting people off of alcohol. Right?
That was the dumbest thing ever when they tried to ban plastic straws. That was so stupid. So stupid.
It's horrible
It's the
in
worst.
New Jersey.
Oh,
These paper straws, they're not like they were back in the 60s.
yeah.
These things
I thought paper straws in the 60s were called $100 bills.
Well, depending on what you're using them for.
Called a cocaine straw.
Yeah.
Oh man, the good old
but
days.
yeah, no, it's terrible. But we can put that paper straw in a plastic cup.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sense.
It's crazy.
It can make sense.
It's half.
All the
I'm for
sense
bamboo
because
and all
the
natural.
sea creatures are eating these straws.
You know,
They
that
weren't eating
was
the cups.
such a dumb thing. That was put together by some 5th grader school report and like, hey,
That's what it must be.
if
Because there's no plastic in the ocean. Right.
I mean,
So I think
they're
we can make the King of Pod a multi-millionaire if we can go with hemp plastics and things like that
Sure.
that are biodegradable. So
Oh, yeah.
I am not a fan of single-use plastics at all.
Oh, me neither.
well, I am
Styrofoam is banned in New Jersey.
when it comes to straws, Michael.
Yeah.
There's no other superior straw other than maybe a metal straw. You know what I mean?
You just drink directly out of the glass, perhaps.
No, I don't like to do
yeah.
that. I don't like to do that.
Bamboo straws are great too. They're not bad at all.
You know what's interesting? You know what? Probably the best product that I actually saw that was not a paper straw was actually straws. They were actually pieces of straw, and those worked fabulous. Those were phenomenal.
Interesting. Never heard of that.
Yeah,
Well,
Bamboo works great.
yeah. One of those fancy
Yeah, bamboo's good.
nightlife venues.
I like metal
frequent.
straws. They bang against your teeth.
You don't like banging against your
But if
teeth,
you have
huh?
a cold drink and a metal straw, you have a really, really cold drink.
Yes.
That is true. I do like my metal cups.
Yeah. See.
And
Mm-hmm.
drinking cannabis drinks out of it is great too.
Oh
Get
God,
back
there we
to our
go. The
show.
cannabis
Absolutely.
beverage pushers
Should
are
be
back.
an actual edible straw if it's a cannabis drink.
Oh God, this
I like it.
So lame, so lame. You guys. The straw is 5 milligrams too. Oh, ha, 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 ha. You know what I mean? It's a way to skirt around the regs.
Why not?
Yeah.
I mean, are you skirting around the regs? Aren't they just the regs?
Just saying, Todd. I mean, I don't know.
Todd,
You're the one that has a lab, Todd. You're the one that has a lab. That's lots of skirting going on in labs.
The skirting going on at my lab.
Well, on that, we are going to keep this train rolling. We're going to roll right into Mr. Michael Minardi. He is the founder of Minardi Law, a law firm that helps people in Florida, Floridians, stay safe from cannabis laws and help keep their businesses operational and compliant. He's been helping Floridians for over the last 20 years at his law practice at Minardi Law, and you can find him in the great red state of Florida. It is none other than Mr. Michael Minardi.
And the crowd
Good morning
goes
to
wild.
everyone on the West Coast.
Yeah.
And happy high noon to everyone on the East Coast.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's the biggest cannabis shopper day of the year, right? Day
Is it?
before Thanksgiving.
Oh, is that
It
Green
is, I
Green
think.
Wednesday? Green Wednesday, right?
In Wednesday.
Yes.
Oh, that's
Well, hopefully people will have some mushrooms with their
Oh boy.
turkey this Thanksgiving. New Jersey legislators advance bill to legalize psychedelic drug found in mushrooms. New Jersey legislatures on Monday took another step toward legalizing psilocybin, a hallucinogenic compound found in mushrooms that supporters consider a breakthrough therapy bound to transform mental health treatment. The Assembly Health Committee Democratic majority advanced a bill that would provide therapeutic access to psilocybin for adults 21 plus, despite some committee members questioning whether the action is needed because the Food and Drug Administration is expected to approve the use of synthetic psilocybin late next year. First I've heard of that, synthetic psilocybin.
Yeah.
The committee heard about an hour of testimony in Trenton from the bill's supporters who urged legislators to reject psilocybin's reputation as a recreational drug and consider its promise in treating chronic psychiatric disorders more effectively than existing therapies. This bill is really no-brainer. You should pass it, said Neil Yusutan of New Jersey for Fungi and Plant Medicine. The clinical evidence in the FDA trials is clear, and psilocybin is not only safe and non-habit forming, it treats depression, anxiety, OCD, addiction, and another number of other mental health conditions more effectively than current therapies. Selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, the drugs now commonly used to treat many health disorders, aren't doing enough, said Jesse McLean of Reason of Hope for a national suicide prevention nonprofit that supports expanding access to psychedelic-assisted therapies. We see that in the form of veteran suicide crisis, where 22 to 40 veterans are lost to either suicide or substance-related deaths every single day, McCallum said, and that drives our determination to make a change. He called psilocybin the next great breakthrough therapy in psychiatry. Stacy and Jeff Swanson, a married couple who both served in the military, testified on behalf of veterans exploring treatment solutions. Stacy Swanson told lawmakers that supervised psychedelic-assisted treatment healed her husband's mental health struggles for years after unsuccessful treatment remedies. His treatment was not recreational, and it was not a shortcut. It involved medical screening, preparation, supervision, integration before and afterward. Integration is what has allowed him to process what he had carried for years. It reached the roots of trauma in a way that traditional treatment could not, she said. Since his treatment, the difference has been steady and real, she added. He sleeps. Our children feel safe. There is no alcohol numbing the pain. Our home is calm instead of reactive. He shows up in a way our family can feel and not just see. The man next to me is the same man I married, but without the constant internal battle, she said. The testimony proved persuasive to most of the panel, including Assemblywoman Belinda Kane, whose son, Jeremy, was a Marine killed in Afghanistan in 2010. She voted for the bill. I know that the loss my family has suffered is terrible, Kane said. I also know that there are more losses in our country to suicide than there are to combat deaths. Others, though, questioned why they should bother passing a bill, given the drug manufacturer seeking FDA approval of its synthetic psilocybin is now in the third round of trials and anticipates approval in late 2026 or 2027. Yeah, so people should suffer for another year until then. That makes great sense when you're trying to help people. Assemblywoman Nancy Munoz is a nurse and the Assembly's minority budget officer. She pointed to a $6 million in-state funding bill that would allocate to carry out its provisions and abstained from her vote over concerns for a budget that is really tough. The record-high $58.8 billion budget lawmakers approved in June included some deep and controversial cuts. Assemblyman John Azarati, a physician and anesthesiologist, also abstained, saying he preferred to wait until the FDA acts. If you're making claims, you should have to prove those claims, those medical claims. Azarati said, we should hold psychedelic medicine, psychedelic drugs, to the same standards as other medicines. That means it must have to cause death and serious side effects in order to be approved by the FDA. The bill now goes to the Assembly's Appropriations Committee for consideration. It has already passed 2 Senate committees and awaits a vote before full chambers. Lawmakers have less than 2 months to act, with the current 2-year legislative session set to end in January. So, psychedelics in New Jersey, where obviously the armpit needs them. Hopefully this moves and continues the trend that will make psychedelics the new and the only and the first choice, not the last choice, for psychiatrists and psychologists to go to when they have someone with one of these conditions that it treats. What do you guys have to say? Let's get tripping on Thanksgiving.
Okay, first off, I think they're rushing it because of the fact that drug manufacturers are going to wind up making it because of the synthetic. All of a sudden, the big pharma is involved, and now look how fast we're dealing with it. And honestly, it should be inclusive with the marijuana because honestly, the psychedelics, in my mind, they're marijuana on crack.
Really?
In the 80s. Yeah, I just think it's a much more potent and body and mind effective drug. I think it's more of an enhanced high, and I think they should both be approved together. Yeah, the psychedelics, like I said, what was it last week? RFK Jr. pushing
Yep.
the psychedelics. They're pushing them in New Jersey. But screw cannabis.
Well,
Let's get rid of cannabis.
one of the reasons that they do that like that, Liz, is because that the psychedelics are a single compound, so they're easy for the pharmaceutical manufacturers to be able to make money off of.
Replicate. Yeah, exactly. And the fact that Big Pharma can now get a piece of it, they're all in. Now they're pushing.
I don't know if I would trust.
Get some meat in the game.
I don't know if I would necessarily trust synthetic mushrooms. I'm not sure if I would trust that.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's like
Yeah, but lots of people, people trust synthetic heroin, right? So,
do they? Are those really people? I don't know. I think that's up for debate, Todd.
morphine.
so if someone has
opiates,
an
of course.
opiate addiction, they're not people all of a sudden?
They may not be, bro. I think those people are more zombies than they are people.
Well, right.
Don't start off as a zombie.
How do you know?
But the doctors are telling them to use it, as a treatment, and people are taking it without even questioning what the doctors are doing. I think that's what he's saying. To say that, synthetic, and honestly, synthetic, it's a compound of psilocybin. I personally believe that kind of like cannabis, it's a whole plant entourage effect. I do think that there's other chemicals in the mushroom that we don't exactly know yet that do cause the psychedelic effect. At least I've heard from people, you eat a cubensis mushroom versus a zuricin versus a, liberty cap or whatever. And you tend to get different psychedelic effects from each one of them. So I don't believe that it's just the psilocybin anymore that is causing that effect on people. I think that there's other things in the natural mushroom, which obviously from nature it's much better than synthetic, that causes different effects in different people. Like golden teachers, they're known for a spiritual journey and an inward journey to kind of learn more about yourself types of things. So I think it's very interesting. And I agree with you on the cannabis and mushrooms issue. There are compartmentalized, but they both should be pushed. I think that this should be a push, especially with the Maho movement, as a using nature to heal ourselves as opposed to medicines. I personally believe that, these types of things should be endowed to us through the Declaration of Independence, where it says that all men are not created equal. They are endowed by their creator, are created equal with certain unalienable rights. Among those are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These are rights that are given to us by our creator that should allow us to use these without any sort of government intrusion. And in fact, government should be protecting us and making sure that those substances that we use are safe, as opposed to ripping them from society and from, our systems. These are just like we know cannabis works within our body and we have receptors in it. I assume the same thing with psilocybin, DMT, and these other psychedelic substances that we're using now for health benefits that are absolutely pummeling prescription medications in their effectiveness.
I've never heard of that Liberty varietal that you mentioned, Michael.
No, Liberty Cap?
Liberty Caps. I like that. I'm going to try some of those now.
Like that.
Yeah.
They have one called Patriot Caps.
They do.
I like that one too.
Yeah. Hey, I think that'd be great names. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I think that'd be great names for mushrooms. You know what I'm saying? If you want true freedom,
uninvited.
Penis envy.
Yeah. If you want true freedom, if you want true freedom, Todd, you know what I'm saying? You need to try a Patriot Cap.
Want people to barge into the Capitol uninvited.
Oh,
the Patriot Cap.
Well, that's what the Democrats did. They orchestrated that whole thing. Your homegirl, Nancy Pelosi. Yeah, you know what it was, Todd. It's okay. You don't have to admit.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Listen, I think with us and the things that we talk about, we have to realize that just all government is corrupt and destroying us.
Agreed.
Oh, yeah.
I agree.
Doesn't matter which side of the road you're on.
I don't know.
Both sides are there for one reason, and that's to line their pockets. They have no real interest in
That's true.
Yeah.
They're there to hang out for 5 years so they get unlimited pension and health insurance for the rest of their
The pensions don't kick in after 5 years. The pensions does kick in.
Pensions kick in.
Well, let me say this. There's like 3 or 4 different tiers to the pensions as far as how much you get. Yeah, maybe after 5 years your pension that pension starts, but you're not getting a maxed out pension. You're getting, you know what I'm saying, a few $1,000. It's not a maxed out pension. Yeah, that's a false narrative. That's a false narrative, Todd.
Pension to kick in.
Yeah. That's a false narrative,
People are there
Todd.
for 10, 20, 30 years.
Yeah, 10, 20, 30 years, then you're getting a maxed out pension. Yes, you are getting a maxed out pension. That is for sure. And you know, I happen to know this because I know people that have maxed out pensions. I've had this discussion, and so I am very familiar with the scale of pensions and what years those are those all kick in. So the whole MTG pension thing is a bullshit story.
We pay them for the rest of their fucking lives.
Exactly. Because
I'm going to tell you why.
They don't understand.
Yeah, let's hear why.
I'm going to tell you why. Okay, why they should. Because oftentimes these people give up meaningful careers in the private sector and go to serve the will of the people. And so, yes, they should be compensated for that. I have no problem with that at all whatsoever.
That's not how the system was designed. Yeah, the system was designed for folks to leave their current career for a few years, serve the nation, and then go back to your career. But they made
because you have to disinvolve from a lot of the stuff that you currently do in the free market in order to go and serve.
Money with buying stocks.
Yeah.
Now that I'm in favor for, Todd. That part I'm in favor for. I'm in favor of cutting Congress's ability to trade stocks. I'm all in favor of that. I'm all in favor of that part.
Why?
On term limits.
No, I'm not for term limits. I think term limits are the most dumbest thing ever.
Why?
Oh no.
Yeah.
It's not designed for a guy to be in Congress.
I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why term limits make absolutely no sense.
Exactly
go ahead, Michael.
The freshman can't do anything. Then it takes you 2 years to learn everything. Then you got
that's not what I was going to say. That's not what I'm going to say because the whole thing when you're a member of Congress, okay, the goal and how you have actually can do meaningful work in Congress is when you're a chairman or vice chairman of any one in particular committee. And how you become a chairman of a committee is by 2 ways. 1, fundraising. 2, seniority. Okay. And so if there's term limits in place, there's going to have to change the whole structure of how committees are issued and who becomes the chairmen of this and that. You can't have that in that type of a structure. So I'm not for term limits at all in any way whatsoever. Crazy.
You can still have seniority of a guy who's been there for 6 years is more experienced than a guy who's been there for 1 year.
No, Todd.
And the Senate were not designed for full-time jobs. They're designed for a part-time gig. Go help and serve your country. But the guys making the rules, the Congress and the Senate, right? They're the ones who made themselves.
I think people that advocate for term limits don't understand how government actually works.
Well, government needs to change because government doesn't work. That's the problem.
It actually does work because we have the greatest country in the world, Todd. America.
We do, but it doesn't mean it doesn't have flaws.
There is plenty of flaws.
For a plant.
There's plenty of flaws.
And people are, it's now institutionalized corruption because these people have backdoors throughout their career, especially like Pelosi and any of these people who have been in there for 20 plus years. 10 or 15 years, that's fine. But to have someone in there for their entire life, for 30 years, like Bernie Sanders, whatever you say about him, but he's been there too long.
I think there should maybe be a health requirement.
From Rhode Island that was there until he was like 90. Thurman, Strom.
Yeah. Michael, you bring up valid points, and I'm not for some type of a health requirement for these elected officials. I'm totally down with that. I don't have a problem with that. You know what I mean? But I'm not for term limits. But we did get a super chat in from the C Word who says, "Stop pretending psychedelics are medical, please. Being psychedelics is enough." I'm not sure what he means by that, but
sorry for Super C, but you can't use psychedelics without having a therapeutic benefit from it 90% of the time.
I know.
Regardless of whether or not you use it recreationally or not, at some point in time, you're going to inside your head. You're thinking to yourself. You're thinking about what you do in life. You're having those thoughts that can, whether or not you realize it or not, heal trauma, I think.
He says, oh
100%.
he says, oh my,
It's totally medical.
he threw in another super chat. He says, oh my God, this is not about weed. This is just old men yelling at clouds. Oh,
That's
Clouds
to
of
that.
weed smoke.
that's good. That's funny. That's funny. You're cute. That's cute. The C word. That's cute. The C word. And on that, we're going to roll into our next commercial, and we are going to be right back.
Every legend has a humble beginning.
In world news, leaders are gathering today for the annual summit.
I want to tell you something, Che. The government is watching us through the television.
Oh, John.
Look, right there. They're trying to hack into my TV box.
We're still not able to hack into the TV box, sir.
Ha! But they can't. I've rebuilt the entire electronic system, and it sends and receives signals through quantum phase space. They'll never get in. Engage target.
In other news, local authorities are investigating a series of strange atmospheric phenomena reported by residents.
Ma'am, we're with the federal government. We need to ask you some questions.
John?
Is there a problem? We've been trying to penetrate your TV box for over 6 months. I told you they were trying to watch us through the TV, but you didn't believe me. We can't get in, and to be frank, we have no idea what you've created. Yeah, that's the point. It's called privacy. You know what the Fourth Amendment guarantees? All we know is that we can't get inside. We want to know if you can create one for us.
QUX. Even the government wants one.
And we are back. Stop whatever you're doing. Make sure you smash that like button. I know we'll appreciate it. You'll appreciate it. And YouTube will appreciate it. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. And all of the articles that we cover on today's show, you can read directly on our website at www.high9news.com.
Introducing QUX Pay, or simply the Pay app.
Where you can pay like it's nobody's business.
Because it isn't. It's what everyone's been clamoring for. It's finally here.
Secure every payment. Your data stays private. QUX will never sell your data for profit, period. Pay friends, family, contacts instantly. No hidden fees. No limits. Spend on the move.
With this patented technology, you can use debit, credit, bank transfers, cash cards, and even crypto completely offline.
Amounts transferred through the Pay app reach their destination instantly. Transfers in a flash. As quick as sending a text. No more waiting around like crypto. Are you ready for the future of payments? The state of the art for money is finally here.
Data privacy and security protocols trusted by militaries and banks worldwide. QUX Pay, the Pay app.
Available as an app and point of sale system, personal and corporate accounts available. Go to QUXPay.com and start using the Pay app today.
Yes, and we are back, and we're going to roll right into the golden voice himself, Mr. Todd Denkin. Todd has been a C-level executive in the cannabis and hemp industry since 2009. He has successfully launched 2 publicly traded cannabis companies. In 2009, Phototron Holdings, and in 2014, Digipath Labs, the #1 cannabis testing lab in all of the Silver State of Nevada. Now, Todd hosts Becoming the King of Pot on YouTube and other streaming platforms everywhere. It is none other than the golden voice himself, Mr. Todd Denkin.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, fellow correspondents. And thanks, audience, for joining us. 9 a.m. here on the West Coast and high noon over there, the other coast. My story today involves veterans, as Republican senators made a detrimental mistake by blocking veterans' medical marijuana access, according to a GOP congressman. That's right. A Republican congressman says his GOP colleagues in the Senate made a, quote, detrimental mistake, unquote, by blocking language from a key spending bill that would have increased military veterans' access to medical marijuana in legal states. Representative Brian Mast, a Republican from Florida, told Marijuana Moment last week that he felt it was ridiculous. The Senate declined to include the medical cannabis provisions The appropriations legislation President and felon Donald Trump signed into law last week. Omission came even though similar language was already approved in different forms by both chambers earlier this year. Asked, who is the co-chair of the Congressional Cannabis Caucus, said, quote, "It was a great and easy opportunity to do so and a sensible thing to move forward. Detrimental to veterans to not do so," unquote. Congressman and Army veteran who lost both of his legs while serving as an explosive ordnance disposal technician in Afghanistan also noted that it came as a surprise that the Cannabis and Veterans section was left out. Senate leadership, quote, "didn't reach over and announce it," quote. They'd be doing so ahead of the final package being released and enacted into law within a span of days. On the Senate side, Senator Jeff Merkley, a Democrat from Oregon, sponsored an amendment the now enacted spending bill to re-add the provision letting the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs issue medical cannabis recommendations to their patients. It was not allowed to receive a vote on the floor. While disappointed that the reform did not make it into the legislation signed by the peach-colored president, Ast said the push for medical marijuana access for veterans will continue, though the issue will undoubtedly be put on hold until next year. If it does eventually come back up, he said, supporters will have to consider whether they need to revise the language or add something that somebody wants, some pet bullshit in it, or whatever else it is, bolster its chances of passage. That's right. If you add a pet provision in there, everybody loves their pets, right? Definitely vote for that. Mm-hmm. Right? So after the bill text was released without the veterans and cannabis provisions, advocates took note that it came just before Veterans Day. Irony is not missed on the GOP. Morgan Fox, political director of NORML, told Marijuana Moment at the time that the absence of this provision is incredibly disappointing and makes no sense whatsoever. It is uncontroversial, revenue neutral, previously approved by both chambers, and long overdue in order to help veterans find relief. In past years, both the House and Senate have included provisions in the respective MilCon VA measures that would permit VA doctors to make the medical cannabis recommendations. They have never been enacted in law. Once again, politicians making decisions against the will of a bipartisan constituents. Just say pass the law already and let veterans smoke some weed, handle all of their problems that they get from being a veteran. I'm Todd Denkin with High 9 News, and what do you guys think?
I happen to agree with my good buddy Congressman Brian Mast that this is totally ridiculous that they would move in this manner. I totally agree with him.
Mm-hmm. So do I.
Yeah.
So do I.
And shame on these members.
Ridiculous.
You know, yeah, shame on these members, the Republicans and Democrats that voted in favor to remove that provision. Those senators, and shame on them. And I feel as though the veteran community needs to be constantly berating their offices on a regular basis, asking them to give them some valid reason as to why they voted in that manner.
That's right. Where's Sean Kiernan when you need him?
Oh, he's.
Sure, he's barking down someone's tree. No,
that's for sure. No, he's barking somewhere.
Yeah, he's definitely barking somewhere. That's for sure.
It's absolutely ridiculous, and especially that the R's are always about the veterans and things like that, and these are such low hanging fruit to just help these people out. They're crying
it's such
for
an easy win
for so many years now.
It's such an easy win.
It's like, well, yeah, it makes no sense to me.
And then they wonder why people talk bad about them, and I have to defend them all so much is because of stories like this. It's like you guys don't make anyone's job any easier. Like this is the easy win. This is an easy layup. You guys could have had a big victory. I could have been just talking so much mess to Todd about how great Republicans are and how great Republicans do for veterans and da-da-da-da. But instead, I have to say, hey, you know what, Todd? This time you're actually right. The Republicans are crap for this. You're exactly right on this one. Democrats are just as much crap too for this too.
And working with so many veterans, it just kills them that they put their lives on the line for country and then get treated like criminals for using cannabis or psychedelics.
It's embarrassing.
And some of these members are veterans themselves, and it's so asinine that they vote against this. It's crazy to me.
You know, DeSantis is, and I can say, you know, when I was running for office, we definitely had the Drug-Free America women would show up pretty much at every event I spoke at and start talking to me about cannabis and veterans, and you know, it causes them to commit suicide and this crazy crap. Meanwhile, we find out they're also drinking as well. You know, so it's just absolutely ridiculous. The proof is there. Whether or not you want it to be just anecdotal proof from veterans saying it helps them or not, that should be enough at this point.
Yep. Fair.
If it helps one veteran, it's enough for me.
That's how I see it too.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
You know,
and I can tell you, you know, medical necessity cases for veterans, I've probably had about, out of like the 30 or 40 cases I've had throughout the years, veterans have been the highest majority of them, with, you know, 13 or 15 of them throughout the country. And these are people that are literally, you know, about to commit suicide, and they find this plant and they no longer want to do so. I had one kid that his father-in-law or father found him under the Christmas tree on like Christmas Eve morning with a gun to his head, about to shoot himself. And luckily saved him and pulled it out of it. This kid started with cannabis. He ended up getting arrested for cultivation. You know, we got everything dismissed, but you know, it changed his life overnight just from one puff.
Man.
Oh, there's story after story after story that tells exactly that. You know, people, they can't get the meds they need, or they get 14 or 15 pills because doctors don't know how to treat, you know, wartime PTSD. So they give them cocktails and they say, okay, try that for 6 weeks and let us know how you feel. Meanwhile, they, you know, swig it down with a gulp of Jack Daniels, and fucking all hell breaks loose. And crimes get committed, you know, wives get beat, and you know, shit happens, and suicide. 22 veterans a day kill themselves. That's just unheard of, and all they want to do is smoke a fucking joint. Jesus Christ.
It's insane, bro. It's insane, and they need to do better and be better, you know. And we support the veterans here at High 9 News. I know all of you guys do as well. And because the reality is that, you know, if we didn't have these veterans fighting for our freedoms, we wouldn't be able to do this type of a show and have this type of content and be able to watch all of the other programs. You know what I'm saying, like Becoming the King of Pot on the internet either.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
It's embarrassing how America treats their veterans.
It is. It is.
Oh God,
it's shameful.
yes.
It's shameful. And, you know, these guys should be publicly flogged and shamed in the halls of Congress.
Not just the vets, their families.
That's families too. That's right.
Yeah.
Families do you know, they're often forgotten, but you know, they're the wind beneath the wings. They're the ones that are living in fear every day. They're the ones that are moving around. The kids are switching schools. They need recognition as well. It's not just the veterans.
Agree.
And they are suffering too with the veterans that are coming home with the PTSD. You know, they have the challenges to, you know, the women, as you said, getting beaten, or, you know, holes being punched in walls, you know, and so it's not just veterans we have to advocate for, it's their families as well.
I would agree with that. And on that, we are going to roll into our final commercial, and we are going to be right back. It's not working. Yep.
I just ordered the summertime strawberry salad when added steak on top here at Anna's. Make sure you do the same thing too next time you're in downtown Long Beach. Come on down and check out Anna's Joint on the 400 block of Pine Street. They have amazing selection of beers, foods, and when you come down here to Anna's, you can even challenge me to a game of shuffleboard if you want to lose. Did you get that? So, next time you're in downtown Long Beach on Pine Avenue, make sure you stop by Anna's Joint on the 400 block. Not only do they have Anna's Joint, this restaurant and bar, but they also have the amazing deli next door, and then next door to that they have a very exotic flower shop. You may want to stop by and say hi. And we are back, and we're going to roll right into Liz Quinn. Liz is a senior cannabis advocate who became passionate when she found herself in a very overwhelming cannabis industry with no help or education. Now, as a senior super stoner, she is lighting up the way by bringing education to seniors and bringing senior awareness to the cannabis industry. As the fastest growing and biggest demographic in the industry, she says that they are the new target audience. That is Miss Liz Quinn.
Why, thank you, and
Yes.
good morning over on the other side, and good afternoon on the East Coast.
New Jersey living.
Yep, living the dream. Today's article is it's a follow-up to an article I spoke about a few weeks back. Massachusetts Cannabis Business Association urges voters to withdraw signatures. There were people out trying to get signatures to end the adult use, and they were doing it fraudulently, allegedly. So this is how we're following up. After weeks of reports that voter fraud is being routinely committed by the campaign seeking to repeal adult use legalization laws in Massachusetts, voters across the state are being reminded to contact their election clerks if they feel like if they believe they signed the petition under deceptive measures. Residents across the state have reported numerous instances of those gathering signatures for the Coalition for a Healthy Massachusetts lying to voters about the purpose of their signature gathering efforts. Those who think they have been fraudulently led to sign the petition should contact their town clerks immediately and request they do not certify their signatures on petitions 1D or 1E. Clerks do this every season. They know what to look for when it comes to questionable signatures. If you're a voter who signed this petition under the impression you were signing for something else, please do not hesitate to contact your local clerk and speak with them, said David O'Brien, President and CEO of the Massachusetts Cannabis Business Association. City and town clerks across the Commonwealth are in the process of certifying signatures for multiple campaigns seeking to get on the 2026 ballot. Once certified at the local level, these signatures must be filed with the Secretary of State's office by December 3rd. The campaign, which refuses to call on these signature gatherers to stop their deceptive practices, reports that it collected the necessary signatures to move to the next step in the ballot question process. Voters in Wilmington report being told that the ballot questions would prevent young people from being arrested for marijuana possession. The proposed ballot questions contain no language about protecting young people from arrest. The fact that the campaign refuses to disavow these actions shows that they do not have the support to move forward without lying to voters, O'Brien said. Clearly, they're having trouble finding people who want to repeal the highly effective cannabis laws and kill our successful cannabis industry. According to online reports, voters in communities across the state have reported instances of bait-and-switch tactics and other forms of voter fraud from those collecting signatures with these two questions, including Burlington, Chicopee, Brockton, Longmeadow, and Westfield. Chris Farrarone, co-founder of the Boston Institute for Nonprofit Journalism, recently reported on the fraudulent signature gathering facts by the group outside of a Trader Joe's in Hanover and the Walmart in Weymouth. Unscrupulous signature contractors are known to fake cover sheets and for unrelated ballot petitions. Multiple voters in Waltham reported being told they were signing petitions for affordable housing and same-day voter registration, with signature gatherers going so far as to set up a table with such fraudulent messaging. Other fraudulent messaging reported by the voters has included claims that the ballot question will strengthen fentanyl testing requirements for marijuana and expand buffer zones between dispensaries and schools. The Secretary of State's office and the Massachusetts office of the Attorney General have both reported being contacted by voters with concerns about the campaign's widespread practice of attempting to deceive voters during this critical signature gathering stage. In order to move forward, a petitioner must file 74,574 signatures with the Secretary of State's office by the December 3rd deadline. No more than 18,643 may come from one county. If it meets this requirement, it will move to the legislature for action. If no action is taken, it will need to collect 12,429 additional signatures beginning the first week of May. In 2016, Massachusetts residents voted in favor of a ballot question that decriminalized the possession, sale, and use and cultivation of cannabis. The latest initiative petitions would effectively repeal the current law and make licensed marijuana activities and home cultivations illegal again. Since recreational marijuana sales began in 2018, they have generated nearly $2 billion in revenue. $2 billion. For Massachusetts through state and local taxes, providing much-needed funding for a variety of programs across the state, including those related to public health, education, law, public safety, and municipal investments. What do you think?
I mean, Liz, I just feel like I feel like all of the, all the people that are, all the massholes need to just start emailing the Secretary of State's office and just saying, hey, remove my name from the petition. Even if they didn't sign it, just overload that office with requests.
Yeah, it's insane. I've been telling them, things like, what did they say? Affordable housing. Mm-hmm. Signing a petition for affordable housing and same-day voter registration, and nobody's reading. They're signing. They go to the places where people are in a hurry, where they're just rushing. Okay, they're coming out of the store. They want to get to their car. They want to get home or wherever. Okay, here, I'll sign it. Have a good day. And that's their target audience. Yep.
Michael, the thing about it is that if this petition was being done in Florida, we know it wouldn't stand a chance. Because they would have been all over it. They would have been all over a situation like this. I think you're on mute, Michael.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they are on it here. Mm-hmm. And they've, our state has claimed these fraud issues multiple different times. I know that we were collecting petitions with paid petitioners. I mean, they were horrible. So many of them. Just fraudulently creating their own petitions. At least these people were, I guess, getting them signed. People are just making things up or pulling stuff from the voter rolls and just filling it out. Mm-hmm. So it is definitely a thing. I think that there's probably a better way that we can do this to prevent that from happening. I wonder, really, the people that are usually losing out are the organizations that are trying to get the thing on the ballot.
Yeah, and I would think that all of the dispensaries in Massachusetts, they would have these little leaflets or palm cards and hey, make sure that you email the Secretary of State's office, make sure your name isn't on one of these petitions, and just, have your family members email them too, and all of that stuff. Like they need to be doing the ground game through all of those dispensaries with every point of contact that they exchange
media,
with. No. They need to be having their bud tenders do this with every customer at the counter. That is where you're going to get the most thing. Social media doesn't really, you're not going to get that type of reach as far as a human interaction with someone, in a retail environment. But
you can't leave any stone unturned. You have to blast this. It really needs to be blasted, because it sounds like there is not one. It sounds like there aren't any legitimate signatures.
Oh, there definitely are. There definitely are, for sure. There's 100% there's legitimate signatures on this. I don't doubt that for a second, because there's tons of prohibitionists that live in Massachusetts. These
right, but not from these people.
What's that?
These people that were
Well, those are all allegations. Those are all allegations, Liz. We can't say that and just because one pollster may have been doing that doesn't mean all of them were doing it. So we can't put that type of blanket. I'm willing to put that there is a decent number of valid signatures on that petition, but I would say that I think that it's a good idea if everybody who is a registered voter that doesn't want something like that on the ballot, that they send the Secretary of State an email and say, hey, I just want to make sure that my name is not on this petition. And if it is, please remove it. Easy peasy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I think Florida last year, DeSantis, they sent people to people's houses to confirm that their signatures for the legalization ballot were real. And we think it was more of a corrupt issue and trying to intimidate people as opposed to actual fraudulent signatures. But it's what they did, and we have a pretty tight system. It's really hard, the way the petition companies are using now in Florida. It costs them a ton of money, but they're tracking the signatures as they do. They have them look up their voter rolls, confirm it, etc., before they accept them. Because it costs so much money to get these things done. It's the petition companies and the organizations that are trying to get this stuff on the ballot that are losing out. I'm happy that it's happening to the No on Cannabis campaign at this point, and it's just not, because it seems like in Florida they just go with the fact that if they don't like the subject, they're going to do everything to prevent it. If they're okay with the subject, then they don't care what happens with it. But the petition gathering game is absolutely insane and crazy. Most of the people that do it are pretty transient, going from state to state to do these petitioning jobs. Definitely usually younger individuals, but wow, doing it for 3 legislative sessions or 3 ballot initiatives sessions, plus working with, the old People United for Medical Marijuana and stuff. It's just amazing how the process works, and there's got to be a better way to do it.
Well, I think there's probably going to be a fourth time, because I don't think this initiative is going to pass in Florida on this go around. Not during a midterm election.
I'm with you on that one, my friend. Especially with the dispute, the continued divide between cannabis and hemp. I am 100% with you.
Yeah, they're not going to hit that 60%. It's not on their best day. Not on their best day. But we're going to keep this train rolling. I'm going to roll into our final story of the day, you guys. And man, we're going to go up to New York, because Long Island pot shops sell the most expensive cannabis in New York, you guys. And they outsell every other region. Look at that. Prices going up. Long Island cannabis dispensaries are peddling the priciest pot in New York while outselling every other region, according to new state data. Licensed pot shops in Nassau and Suffolk counties charged an average of $41 for an eighth in 2024, the highest average price per unit for weed in New York, leaving them generating more retail cash than all of the 5 boroughs, the Hudson Valley, and every upstate region, despite having far fewer stores available, according to the latest figures from the State Office of Cannabis Management. Long Island accounted for 11% of statewide retail sales, while representing just 3% of dispensaries, state data shows. Pot prices have plummeted an average of 17% in New York since ganja was first legally sold here in 2022. But Long Island smokers are still paying more per pack than buyers in the next most expensive regions in Mohawk Valley and New York City, according to state data. But despite the massive boom in Long Island's legal cannabis industry, some smokers told the Post that the prices keep them looking elsewhere. That's right. In a quote, "The legal prices are absolutely deterring me from buying from these stores," said David Duran, who decided to grow his own weed since it became legal. And Long Island also is home to only about 6 legal dispensaries from end to end between both counties. In a quote, "There are not a lot of dispensaries on Long Island, and they know this, so they charge ridiculous prices and do whatever they want because they know at the end of the day people are still going to come in and pay it," Duran said.
Dispensaries ranked in nearly $4 million in tax revenue for Suffolk County last year alone, with each storefront averaging $20 million in sales apiece, by far the most in the state, according to the OCM data and figures from Suffolk Controller's Office. Some smokers said they prefer the legal market despite the price because they know the product they're purchasing are tested and safe from pesticides and any other chemicals or cutting agents. One Long Island pot smoker who asked his name not be revealed said he mostly attempts to avoid dispensaries because of the prices, but does occasionally go to purchase shake, which are essentially weed crumbs that fall off the plant during the growing process and are sold cheap for consumption. The smoker detailed they can get 28 grams of California cannabis, which he said smells, tastes, and smokes better than legal weed in New York, from his tax-free street dealer for anywhere between $130 and $160. That same amount of pot in a legal Long Island storefront goes for roughly $200 or more, according to local dispensary menus. State regulators said they expect prices to keep softening as more stores open statewide, but warned that if costs rise too quickly, that could destabilize growers and retailers, you guys. Well, New York, there may be some light at the tunnel for you after all, but I happen to think this is just a blip on the screen, and I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about this.
I am in New Jersey.
No, this is New York. This is in New York, on Long Island. New York, Long Island.
I know. I just want to tell you the price.
Oh, okay.
The price.
Yeah.
The price for an eighth in New Jersey goes anywhere from $55 to $70.
Oh, that's great numbers.
For 1/8.
Yeah, that's great numbers. Yeah,
That's
is that
insane.
taxes? Is that taxes included?
No.
Yes. Yeah, that's good numbers. That's good. That's not taxes included.
Well, it's good numbers for the stores. Doesn't sound like for the patients or the people.
Hey, you know what? Hey, you know what's good for business is good for the people, because corporations are people too, Michael.
No, 100%. But I mean, ounces are going for $100 to $120 in Florida here right now.
Yeah, but that's all
in
boof weed, though, Michael.
You
That's
can
all.
get it.
That's all boof weed. That's not like top of the line type of stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
You know.
It's definitely and that's in the dispensaries.
Yeah.
So with the deals right now, so the prices in Florida have plummeted over the past year. I feel like in the dispensaries, and the street drugs are having to assimilate and go, the same way. You can get probably a pound of cannabis for $800 to $1,000 of more grade A. Here in the state of Florida. So, and that's in the black market, obviously not the dispensary market, but it makes it really hard for those dispensaries to compete when the product is a lot of times better on the street. Just is.
I mean,
it's
it
not
just
sitting
is.
in a packaging. It's not going through that process. It's getting out the door quicker. It's fresher.
Yeah.
It doesn't crumble when you touch it. So it's very interesting.
I mean, I feel bad for this guy. He said he just goes to the dispensaries to buy shake. And I'm just like, oh, that is like the last thing. If I went to a dispensary, that's the last thing I would buy is the shake. I mean, I get it's a good value and whatnot, but oh man, it's got to be, your throat is going to be so mad at you after you smoke that.
Yeah, I think the only basis to buy shake is if you're cooking with it.
I think that's fair. Yeah, if you're going to cook with it. Yeah.
Or using it for when you have company. You can also.
Oh, come on! You gotta treat your guests. Treat your guests. Oh man, don't give them the shake.
I'm kidding. Oh man, but I do have company weed.
Yeah. I do support that. I do.
There are some people.
Yeah. Yeah, I do support that.
But yeah, no, you have to.
Yeah.
But the price is like. And I don't know what the limit is, in New York or Florida, but the limit is 1 ounce a day. However, it's not tracked. So you could go to, Ann's dispensary on this corner, get an ounce, go across the street, go to the end of the block and go into Ben's dispensary and get another ounce.
That's great. That's great. You know what I'm saying?
But the price is...
I mean, you know, the price is the price. You know, I don't think that those numbers are unreasonable. I mean, I remember being a street dealer, and that's when pounds were, you know what I'm saying, $4,000, $5,000 a pound, and you know what I'm saying, we'd sell apes for $50 and $60 to everybody, and no one ever balked at that price, and everyone was happy to pay it. And so, you know what I mean? So everyone complaining about in the legal market, oh, it's so expensive and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Cry me a river. That's ridiculous. The weed has never been cheaper.
I agree with that. 100%.
And in so many varied consumption methods. You know, it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
It really is. We went from, you know, just a bag of weed, you know, with seeds and stems to now we're like,
that's right,
dabbing
that
and
brickweed. Yeah. That Alabama slammer. Yes.
And now it's like a whole science.
My buddy used to call it the lumber yard when it had all those seeds and stems in there. Yeah.
That's good. I like it.
Yeah. The lumber yard. Yes. Well, that was fun. Congratulations, New York. I guess someone's doing good in New York. It's probably the only people that are doing good. But anyways, thank you all for joining us and getting high at 9 with us every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific and high at noon on the East Coast. And big shout out to our audience and supporters for tuning in daily and listening to the insanity that is the developing cannabis industry. Huge thank you to Catalyst Cannabis for helping us keep the lights on, and thank you to our correspondents for being absolutely amazing. And happy Thanksgiving, you guys. And thank you to Cannabis Sativa L for giving us a reason to do this every day. And thank you to Cloud Media partners Elias and Gabriel. They're somewhere in the metaverse. And thank you all for tuning in and getting high at 9 with us. We are America's #1 daily cannabis news show. Trademarked.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.